Hello, my name is Donald Mason. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the historical perspective of the Lydian scale and the major scale. By the way, if you still don't have a copy of this book, please try and get one. You can get one at the Amazon or maybe somewhere else. It's a bit expensive, but it's really worth it. At the end of Russell's book, there's an article written by Reed Grass. Reed Grass is a graduate of Manchester College with a BA in theory. He went on to the New England Conservatory of Music and obtained his master's degree, and there he studied with George Russell, and then the University of Miami School of Music, where he got his doctorate degree. He has even been selected to Who is Who in America. He has taught at 6 different universities. In this section, quoting from the book Sonic Design, it says, "The European tonal system has been regarded by theorists from Rameau to Heinz Smith as a natural order. Certain of them, that is, the music theorists back then, proclaimed the 18th and 19th centuries as the common practice period. An astonishing conception when one compares 2 centuries of common ideals with the preceding 1,000 years of European modal system, not to mention several millennia of the Indian raga systems. But since it ignored these, as well as the music of other cultures, and cannot apply to the 20th century music of the entire world, how common can it be? Or we can ask, common to who? Constructing a 7-note scale by using a series of successive intervals of a fifth is common in the history of music. It happened before Pythagorean times, that is, before around 550 BC, to the present, that is, to the Lydian chromatic concept. Examples can be found in China, Korea, and Samoa. Chinese musical treatises from the 11th century through the 16th centuries were consistent in describing the use of a cycle of fifths for scale construction. Huayuan explains in detailed terms the use of a fundamental tone. 200 years after Tuji, Chen Yuanjing included a circular diagram in his Shailin Guanji that was about 1270, assembling the 12 semitones of a chromatic scale by means of a succession of fifths. He explained that by doing so, the basic scale, Gongjiao, that is C, D, E, F sharp, not F, F sharp, G, A, B, that is the Lydian scale, was obtained. Both the traditional music of Japan and Hindustani music are based on scales derived from a series of fifths. The 2 basic scales in Japanese music are the Ryo and the Ritsu, and they coincide with a D-Lydian scale and its parallel Lydian minor. In Hindustani music, they use this system prior to 300 BC. So the question arises then, if these ancient and advanced cultures derived scales from succession of fifths to arrive at what we refer to as Lydian scales, why did Western musicians move so predominantly toward the major-minor scale system? In his book, Music, the Arts and Ideas, Leland Meyer discusses the idea of teleology in music. Not theology, teleology, although theology plays a part, but we'll get to that later. Teleological music in this sense refers to goal-oriented music, which is comparable, at least in part, to Russell's idea of horizontal tonal gravity. The concept of teleology can be exemplified by the famous aphorism which says, The end justifies the means. So, the choice of the major-minor scale system is completely consistent with the teleology and technologically oriented Western mind. It is a mindset of the written tradition. The phenomena of tension and release, goal-oriented, organized Western religion and philosophies, climbing the social ladder, getting ahead, planning for tomorrow, all fit easily within Western European music, the music of the common practice era. That is, the music of these guys. It all happened very quickly, within a span of 200 years. For example, Bach was born in 1685, and 125 years later, Chopin was born. By the way, please forgive me if I didn't include your favorite artist. The idea was to keep this video as simple as possible. Of course, there were composers before Bach, but I decided to start from Bach and end with Chopin because Bach is so famous and well respected. Since these guys were so good, people thought the scale they were using was the world default scale. The article goes on to say that the major scale appears to have been reached by manipulated means. The methods used seem to have been guided toward the desired end, that is, the major scale. John Backus explains the construction of the Pythagorean scale in his widely used book, The Acoustical Foundation of Music. Beginning on the pitch C, Mr. Backus progresses to a perfect fourth above to F. He then moves back to C, then proceeds by fifths, that is G, D, A, E, and B, to avoid black notes. But why would we want to do that? Another example of this manipulation is found in the Harvard Dictionary of Music. So the Pythagorean scale starts with C down to F, and then back to C, and then starts moving in fifths. Along with the idea of teleology was the powerful influence of the Christian Church. The Church influenced much of the music from well before the 11th century to the 18th century, when that influence began to diminish. By the 10th century, after many centuries of development, the Church recognized 8 modes. The article goes on to mention how notes were altered in order to avoid the tritone, which was considered the devil's interval. So let's say at the end of a song, they would move from C to F when singing Amen. This time period, that is 1547, coincided with the formation of the Council of Trent. This body of high-ranking clergy within the Roman Catholic Church met on a regular basis between 1545 and 1563 and was responsible for the establishment of a Reformed Mass. The council was formed out of the need for purifying and desecularizing the sacred service. It's good to keep in mind that most of these early composers were very religious, and many of them, including Bach, played in churches or composed music for sacred services. The article ends by contrasting the major scale with the Lydian scale. It says, the naturalness of the Lydian scale is confirmed also by the symmetry of its construction. By including the sharp fourth, the exact center point of the octave interval is present. C to F sharp is an interval of 3 whole steps. From F sharp to C is also 3 whole steps. So this is a brief and simple history of the emergence and popularity of the major scale. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like and please subscribe. See you in the next video.